Welcome to Joa Fitness Health Wellness Video Podcast, a space to ignite your day through positive conversations. We bring people that have created excellence in their life, sharing high vibration in their reawakening path.
Hello, how are you today? Welcome to Back into Alignment podcast. Today, Friday. I want to say hi here from Toronto. My name is Joa Rivas, and I am a wellness coach and a health educator for the past 15 years. It's been a long time, and I'm actually excited here to share with you for over 4 years this podcast where I support the community to be able to provide solutions for inflammation in the body. Exciting today to have, for the second time, Dr. Shivani Gupta. Dr. Shivani Gupta is an expert in Ayurveda. So we started our conversation last week and we actually dived deep into the basics about Ayurveda. And if you are curious about it, we invite you to come back into our last week. Today, we're going to talk about the morning routine and what to do in the morning following the Ayurveda practices. Dr. Shivani is an Ayurveda practitioner and an expert in fusing Eastern and Western practices. She actually study turmeric, and she is actually bringing that fusion between yoga and Ayurveda and how we can actually implement habits in the day to be able to create balance in our doshas. Doshas is the constitution of our body, and it's actually really interesting that you can learn more about this one in our last podcast. I wanted at the beginning of the year to invite you to join our 30-day hip healing. In these 30 days, you will be having access to a fitness app where you actually can stretch your hips and reduce the back pain, especially if you have lower back pain. By stretching your hip area, you will be able to have more mobility and perhaps improve your posture. To get to know more about the 30-day hip healing, I invite you to check the joafitness.com website, where we have not only this program, we also have the 4-month of posture school program. The 4th month of posture school program is actually a great program for you if you have scoliosis or a spinal health problem like me. I used to have scoliosis, and actually doing yoga and Pilates helped me a lot. This program has been released for 7 years, and actually it's been improving every year, adding new content about why our spine is hurting, including the anti-inflammatory nutrition, which is important to reduce inflammation in our joints. I am excited this 2023 to bring experts in the wellness community. Today we have Dr. Shivani, and I can't wait to continue with a conversation about Ayurveda. Let's get ready to dive into what to do in the morning and how we can actually rebalance our body from the beginning of the day. Let's get ready, have a tea, and let's start with Back into Alignment. Hello, happy Friday, my friends here. Today, again, in Back into Alignment podcast, I wanted to welcome you to a space for solutions and for therapies that can actually help us to be at our optimal health, especially if you are suffering of back pain, neck pain. This is one of the very single issue that I like to support you, because I do have a scoliosis, as you remember my story. So I really like to understand why the causes of our back pain and why the causes also of inflammation in the body, joint inflammation, gut inflammation. There's so many chronic diseases are coming from a high levels of inflammation. So this is the podcast related to becoming back into alignment. Back into alignment has been for 4 years, and today is our episode 101. So today we have the second episode in the year 2023 with Dr. Shivani Gupta. How are you, Shivani?
Hi, doing so well.
Awesome. So awesome to have you back. The first episode on 2023, we open up this new year talking about one of the ancestral medicine, Ayurveda, from India. Over 3,000 years has been putting into practice this amazing way of living. I am a yoga teacher, so I'm very close to Ayurveda since the beginning. Yoga and Ayurveda walk together like sisters. I am excited to have another woman that is actually coaching women in the modern Ayurveda for self-care and to transform their health. So Shivani, tell me a little bit of the month. How are you feeling this month, especially with the depression, with the insomnia, with the gut health on your patients? I know this is affecting a lot of people at the beginning of every year. We get to get these moons, like very low energy. How are you connecting this year with 2023?
I think whenever we start a new year, there's a little bit of that depressive mood because we're coming off the holidays. We're coming out of December, which is all glitter and fun and parties and celebration and such a high energy month. And it takes a minute for the body to recalibrate into the new year. We think of ourselves as robots, like, oh, December 1st, January 1st happens, and boom, I'll just be perfectly energized and focused and ready. But I think we all know that it takes a minute. We have to calibrate, do self-care, fill our cup, exercise, detox from the inflammatory foods and fun of December. And then we can put ourselves on the right track to have a healthier, more productive, more energized new year.
Exactly. And what is the most common issue that you see in the patients on the month of January? Typical issue, perhaps gut health. What did you notice that is happening in this year?
It's definitely gut health. And Ayurveda definitely centers its attention on gut health and digestive fire. And so I think what happens is we go from Thanksgiving through Christmas, Hanukkah, all the big holidays, and New Year's Eve, eating inflammatory foods, tons of sugar, tons of gluten, tons of dairy, alcohol, meat, all the fun foods, all the crazy fun combining of those foods, all the treats and things that we really savor at the end of the year. And the body's like, okay, all righty, now I need a minute. We need to detox. Gut lining takes a thrashing. Gut is inflamed. Immune system's off. So that's why this time of year we see so many colds and flu and people being knocked out. It's just the accumulation of inflammation, accumulation of gut health kind of being damaged and taking a thrashing through December. Now we're at New Year. Now is the right moment to say, okay, what do I do? What do I need to do to heal the gut, to repair the gut, to love on my gut, to do self-care in such a beautiful way that the whole body goes from being tired, low energy, gut health issues, inflammation, to being set up for being whole and healthy and nourished and cleansed and ready for the coming months.
Yes, well said. I should say, we are in this roller coaster. We're definitely in this moment stopping the speed and trying to recalibrate. And we welcome you to check Shivani Gupta website, which is shivanigupta.com. She actually has Mind Body Dosha quiz where you actually find out what is you can find your dosha. In my case, I'm Vata. And that can actually help you to see where you are and if you have to take a particular strategy to be able to rebalance your dosha. By the way, if you don't know what dosha is, come back into our last episode. We actually went deep into what the constitution of our bodies are made of and how we know which dosha we are. So we welcome you to come back to the last episode because today we're actually going to dive deep into the morning routine. We are listening a lot about habits. I keep listening a lot about what type of habits we do are actually they're going to shape us who we are. And it's important to actually do our best at the beginning of the day, as soon as we wake up. And actually, even more smarter than that is starting on the night. Like, what do we do in the night to prepare for the morning? So let's talk about Dinacharya. Dinacharya is actually used as a morning ritual in Ayurveda. I'm a yoga teacher and I practice meditation at 5 in the morning. And then there is a set of steps that we do in Dinacharya that we are going to understand through the easy explanation that Shivani is going to help us. And please take notes. We welcome you to perhaps take a notebook and then write some of the strategies or some of the steps that we can do on the morning rituals. Let's just start at the core of the Dinacharya.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So the way I teach the self-care rituals is I call it modern Ayurveda self-care. And I've pulled 12 of the self-care rituals from Ayurveda. And I like to teach it in a format that we can utilize. So I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur. There's not so much time in the morning to do all 12. So I typically break it in half, and I do half my morning rituals in the morning and half in the evening, because like you mentioned, if we can do self-care in the evening, we're setting our morning up for such success. Or if it's the weekend, then yes, in the morning, I can take that time to take like an hour and a half and do these self-care rituals. What's cool is as you start to do them, you get faster at them. So when you hear me talk about them and you might think, gosh, this girl's crazy. I don't know how she fits so much self-care into her life. That's nuts. Remember this, as we build these habits into our life, they become part of our rhythm. They become part of what we do every day. They become automatic, like brushing our teeth. And so they just become a piece of the continuum of self-love that we get to practice for ourselves all day, and self-care. So the first tip I always teach is when you wake up in the morning, the first thing we should do is say a moment of gratitude. Take that moment of pause. So for me, I always touch the ground, touch my forehead, and say thank you. Thank you to Mother Earth. Thank you to whoever you might pray to, or whoever you are grateful to. And so I really say, thank you for another day. And I take that moment to meditate right in bed. And some people run away from meditation. Some people say they have no time. I get it. I totally get it. There's amazing meditation apps and things like that. Sometimes instead of calling it meditation, which kind of puts some pressure on it in terms of, oh, I'm supposed to have this like blissful silent peace with no thoughts, I just call it collecting peace. And so because I've reframed it as collecting peace, every morning I just in bed prop myself up on my pillow, so I'm not really sleeping anymore, and I'll just drop into my own form of meditation in a way that fills me up. And that might be in the form of prayer. It might be in the form of, everyone has their own meditation style. And I take that same concept of collecting peace, and I have built different anchor points throughout my day where I collect peace. So if I'm ever driving in the car and it feels like, okay, the day is kind of nuts, I will turn off the radio, silence my phone, and unless it's like something urgent, I'll take that 10-20 minutes to sit in total peace and just allow my own intuition to talk to me, my own inner thoughts to guide what it is I need to do next. So meditation is definitely one of the best ways to start our day, just so that we have quiet before we interact with all the noise.
Mm-hmm. Now, can I stop you? Great, of course. So gratitude practice, some type of meditation and grounding. But then the question, what time is the best time to wake up? Is there a particular time that you recommend in Ayurveda that we should wake up? And I think this is going to be, I know the answer, but tell me.
So the answer from Ayurveda is at sunrise. And Ayurveda teaches us that to live according to nature's clock is the best way to live. Why? Because we are made of nature, we live in nature. And when we live in the rhythm of nature, all of a sudden you're supported by nature. It's easier to be healthier. It's easier to feel good. It's easier to be awake and productive. It's when we're fighting against nature that things get hard. So if we're going to stay up late, sleep late, wake up late, then of course we're going to be lethargic and slower and things like that. But I also am a huge fan of sleep. I teach sleep optimization and the importance of like really profound, deep, awesome sleep. So I also believe that we need to get 7 to 8 hours. So I wake up 7 to 8 hours when I go to bed. Like if I sleep every night at 10, I'm going to wake up at 6 or 6:15. So I really let people customize that to them. I don't believe in waking up at 5 if it means you only got 6 hours of sleep. So
okay, yeah, that's why it's important to organize your day.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's go for the second step in Dinacharya.
So once you wake up, the next thing we're all going to do is usually get up and use the bathroom. And elimination is a topic that most people don't talk about because it's kind of personal, going to the bathroom. But in Ayurveda, we consider that first bowel movement that you do the most important thing you're going to do. It's your check-in point with yourself on, are you eating the right foods? Are you eating inflammatory foods? How is the state of your gut health? Are you having a bowel movement every day? Are you constipated? Is it good? Is it bad? All those things. I won't dive into details. But suffice it to say, important to wake up, do elimination. Then a lot of people sit to do their meditation, or you're going to get up and jump and brush your teeth. And when you brush your teeth, we have a whole series of self-care rituals around oral health that we go into. So Joa, do you have a tongue scraper that you use?
Yes, I do use a tongue scraper, and then I also do the coconut oil.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. So the next self-care ritual is to use a tongue scraper. And if you haven't heard of a tongue scraper, I have a physical example I'll show to the people online. This is an example of a tongue scraper. It's made of metal. So a lot of people have been taught to use a toothbrush or to use a plastic tongue scraper. In Ayurveda, we are big fans of using a metal tongue scraper on the tongue, and you stick out your tongue and you gently scrape the tongue 7 to 14 times. From the middle of the tongue down, please don't gag yourself. Please also don't resurface your tongue. We're not here to harm or self-harm ourselves. But what this is going to do is it's going to gently detox the body. So in Ayurveda, we teach that all the organs of the body that are in reflexology, we talk about all the organs being reflected on the bottom of the foot. In the same way in Ayurveda, we teach that they're reflected on the tongue. And so by gently detoxing the organs of the body, that's one thing you accomplish by doing tongue scraping. Another is it increases the efficacy of your taste buds. So you're going to taste your food better, be full and enjoy it more. You're also going to be really cleaning up your oral health. And we know that our oral health is tied to our heart health. And then the last thing is you ignite that digestive fire for the day. So it's really a way to really ignite the body and wake the body up for the day.
Okay, so that's number 3. Yeah. Then what about 4, the fourth step?
Oil pulling. So oil pulling is something that people have heard of, but most people probably think of it as disgusting because it's a very new concept to just put oil in the mouth and let it hang out in the mouth. Did you have that experience, Joa? Did you think it was weird?
I don't have any type of reaction or negativity against the coconut oil. I love coconut products. Any coconut thing for me, I love it. It's more about where to dispose it, because it can create a mess in your sink or in the toilet. Where would be the most adequate place to dispose the coconut oil?
Sure. So in Ayurveda, we're big fans of sesame oil. You can buy any brand of sesame oil. I recommend organic sesame oil that's unrefined, not like super processed. Coconut oil is great, olive oil, almond oil, any food grade oil that you would buy at a health food store that's organic is great. And what you're going to do oil pulling, you take a tablespoon or 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil, put it in the mouth. I usually do 2, and you swish it around for 5 to 20 minutes. So I know that sounds like a long time, but once you put this oil in the mouth, you can kind of like move it around. You can also go do chores. You can go start the coffee pot, make your bed, take a shower. There's a lot of things you can do at the same time. You can like be hyper productive while you're oil pulling. But as you're oil pulling, you're going to kind of swish it around, move it around. At the end, make sure it's gone over all the gums, all the teeth, all the different areas. And this oil is going to accumulate all the bacteria, all the gunk, all the toxins from the mouth. And just like we have a gut microbiome, we have an oral microbiome. And modern science is starting to have the conversation of how the mouth indicates to the gut what's coming, what foods are coming, what types of foods, what digestive enzymes to release to prepare for what we're going to eat. So this is really an investment of our cleaning up our oral health and oral microbiome, which is also an investment in our gut microbiome. So it's a double benefit to do it. But you're right, Joa, when you spit that out, you cannot spit it in your sink, your shower, or your toilet because you're going to clog the pipes of your home. So it's important to then take that and spit it out in the trash only. Like find a trash can in your home that has a trash bag and only spit that out in there so that you don't clog the pipes.
Okay, did you hear that? So if you want to try the Dinacharya practice, remember that you are preparing the disposal, because at the beginning I didn't know, and I definitely created some damage in my sink. So good. We know. I normally do it with coconut oil because I hear coconut oil is antifungal. So I use coconut oil, and I don't think I do a 5 minutes oil pulling. I think I probably do like a minute, because there is a point that I'm like, okay, I need to spill this out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you wait, if you're just doing oil pulling, you're going to get impatient because you're like, how long do I have to sit there like this? But if you go ahead and start doing other things, you can easily hit 5 to 20 minutes because you're getting a lot of other things done. You're just not talking for that time period. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What's the next step, number 5?
Next step is Neti pot. So a Neti pot is a pot that Ayurveda has used. It's basically like a little pot with a little, almost like a little teapot in a sense. And what you do is you add salt water in here. You can use purified water only. And what you're going to do, it can be slightly warmed. You're going to take this neti pot and you're going to put that saline water from one nostril and out the other. It's a way to clean the nasal passages. So anyone who has allergies, this is invaluable. This is like the $1 million tip for the allergy crew. Anyone who's suffering from a cold, congestion, to clean out those nasal passages prevents us from accumulating any sort of sinus infection, ear infection, that kind of thing. So it's a way to kind of clean through everything, but it's a beautiful way to clean through the nasal passages. And part of Dinacharya is really cleaning everything. We can clean the ears, we can clean the eyes, nose, mouth, all the different areas so that we're prepared for a healthier day and keeping the body in a more preventive state. So neti pot is something a lot of people are a fan of. What's cool is I'm hearing there's a lot of modern technique ways to do neti pot. Like a friend today was telling me that at the drugstore, I can buy one where you just squeeze it and it's safe for kids because it'll push that water through the nasal passage without being so challenging. Sometimes with neti pot, you should really watch some YouTube videos and learn the technique so you don't like give yourself a headache.
Okay, and if there is a specific amount of water that you want to pass through the nostril, just for those people that never have done this type of practice, I just want to support them so they can actually follow our instructions here.
Yeah, I would do like half a cup to a cup. I would not do too much. Like, don't overdo it. I would start small. And I would definitely YouTube it so you see someone doing it, so you understand how to do it.
And we're talking of a daily practice, or it will be too much to do it daily?
You know, any of these health practices, I mean, tongue scraping you can do year round every single day. Neti pot, I would cycle on and off just because you don't want to do too many things that become habit forming. You don't want your nasal passages to need you to do neti pot. So anything like this, I would say take a month or two, do it, take a month off, come back on. And for me, I don't need it. I'm never nasally, I'm never congested unless someone in my house has a cold and I have to battle it. So for someone like me, I'm not going to use it unless I need to. I don't need to do that one as frequently. But anyone who gets allergies, seasonal allergies, congestion, these kinds of things, I think it's important. And then anyone who doesn't really need it, you can use it as an occasional tool.
Great, great. I believe everyone could do it at least once every 6 months to kind of like clean it up.
Exactly.
In Canada, here in Toronto, where I am, probably 1 every 4 people are having this cough, never-ending cough.
Yeah.
And then a lot of congestion, ear pressure. Like definitely there is some type of maybe air pressure, something that is happening in this particular month. So actually, I think this is very valuable for those people that are listening to this podcast right now. It's a great season to start practicing neti pot. So if someone that is having those long cough and he wants to practice this from today, would be okay to do it 2 times a week? How
Easily.
frequent?
2 to 3 times a week, easily. And if you find it to be super beneficial, you can increase that to like 5 days a week. And then once you feel better, you can cycle off week or 2 and come back on. Yeah, it's just important to never, I find in modern day society, people get very attached. They're like, okay, you gave me a health tip. I'm going to do this every single day for 10 years. And it's like, guys, we need to remember that variety and play and yin and yang is a benefit. So just keeping that sympathetic type of mindset towards these things.
Okay, great. So the nasal irrigation is step 5. Let's go for step 6.
So the next one I would say is hydration. So in the morning, it's interesting. Every night we teach people to take a copper lined cup, to fill it with water and put it on your bedside. And we teach that the first thing you should do is drink water. But here in the West, we're not so trained to drink water without brushing our teeth. So I usually wait till I've done all my, teeth brushing. I'll do tongue scraping every single day. I might not do oil pulling every day because I've got to get the kids up and ready. So there's a lot of waking up of kids. But I filled my copper cup and I drink this water in the morning. Why? Because we've been dehydrating ourselves all night, haven't consumed any water, but the body has been doing a lot of work in terms of detoxing and cleansing and all that. And copper has its own mineral benefits. and it's antibacterial, so it stays clean. So Ayurveda teaches us to start with a cup of water every day. And here in the West, so many of us start our day with caffeine or coffee. What I like to teach is if we can start with room temperature water, very simple, but very effective. If we can then add on a cup of hot water with maybe ginger or ginger lemon, that also can ignite digestive fire and support us. So there's a lot of different tips and tricks that I have around elixirs and teas that we can use that can have a supportive effect before we start our day.
Okay, great. I'm just taking notes. Definitely a few things that I actually forgot to add into my Dinacharya. I will start practicing. Let's go to the next one. So the 7th step.
So the next one would be dry brushing. So in Ayurveda, we teach that dry brushing, and I have one here to show you. So any dry brush that you can buy a long one, you can buy a short one. Always make sure that it has natural bristles and that it's soft. I bought many in the beginning that were hard, and then I hated dry brushing. I thought it was the worst thing ever. But once I bought a soft bristle, I thought it was really nice. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take a dry brush and you're going to gently dry brush your entire body, starting from your feet, moving up towards the heart, and you're going to do it in a circular motion. So you're going to go in little circles all the way from your extremities, all the way inwards. You can also use long brush strokes as well, but whenever you hit a joint, you go in round circular motions. And when you hit the stomach, make sure you go clockwise. We want to support digestive flow and not go against it. But what this is going to do is it's going to move the lymphatic system. We teach that the skin is the largest organ of the body. So it's going to gently, it's going to reduce those dead skin cells, remove them from the body. It's going to gently move the entire lymphatic flow and flow of the body overall. It's going to support detoxing, which is great. And if you move everything towards your lymph nodes, which is like in your armpits and your groin and certain areas, that's even more supportive. So instead of doing this in the morning, I actually love dry brushing in the evening, because I find if you can, in the evening, carve out 20, 30 minutes even, sometimes an hour if you have it. Just lay down a towel in your bathroom or in your bedroom, maybe light a candle, play some peaceful music. Then you can kind of ease into these different self-care rituals of the evening, and then they're supporting you for better detoxification through the night before you start your day.
Great. So those are 7 steps, and we want to complete today's talk because I know we have way many more with the number 8.
Yes. So then you have Abhyang massage. So again, we're big fans of food grade oil, super fans of sesame oil. And we believe in the vitamin E and the strengthening properties of sesame oil for the body, specifically in Ayurveda. So Abhyang massage is a concept where you take oil generously, like don't be sparse with it. You can warm the oil or take it as is at room temperature. And again, sitting on a towel, because you don't want to get oil everywhere, you're going to massage the body from the feet all the way up to the neck. And you're going to generously be putting this oil into your body as if you're giving it to yourself. And so as you're really generously rubbing this oil in, you're oileating the joints, oileation of the skin. So as we talk about aging, we talk about how we dry out, our joints feel dry, we feel like we crack, we're achy, all those things. This is the perfect anti-aging, anti-arthritis, we can call it, but all that dryness that comes through as we age, dryness of winter. This is the perfect counterbalance to it. And what's beautiful is Abhyang massage is so soothing and grounding. It undoes all that vata energy or movement or overthinking that we have all day, settles us down and gives us a really profound night's sleep. So after you do Abhyang, you can take a shower, but try not to use too much soap and take too much of the oil off, because the medicinal benefits of the oil are going into the body all the way through the night as you sleep.
Mm-hmm. That massage is supposed to be a self-massage, right?
Yes. You're self-massaging the body from the feet all the way up. You're generously putting it in the body, really slowly and lovingly putting it in. But for men and women, this is so great for the skin, for the joints, for the body overall. It's really nourishing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's very powerful, this Dinacharya morning ritual. Many of these steps could be added to your day. Again, if you are a busy mother like Shivani, you perhaps have only 15 minutes space to squeeze some of these practices. So we welcome you to explore all the notes and see which ones would you want to start practicing from tomorrow and see what the results you get from the practice. I definitely love to observe the sunrise, meditate before sunrise, get the water before the coffee, and definitely going to sleep as early as I can so I can wake up before the sunrise is something that I try to make the effort. As we are regulating our hormones, cortisol and melatonin work together. In the morning, our cortisol spikes, our melatonin drops. So we are actually working with the circadian rhythm, and the sunrise is one of the most important ways to regulate your sleep. When you see your sunrise, you can actually improve the sleep consistency. So we welcome you to start practicing the Ayurveda ritual by tomorrow, if it's possible. And if you can actually send us your comments about what have you been practicing before. And if you like one of what we mentioned, please send it to us. Which one is the one that you would love to start implementing tomorrow? Shivani, please remind us about the event that you're having this end of January and beginning of February so people can sign up can register into the website.
Yes. So I'm going to be doing a masterclass on how we can support inflammation, gut health, and detoxification going into the new year. You can sign up on my website. So I'll be doing that in those time periods just to help us support ourselves to incorporate all this amazing self-care, including, sun gazing, circadian rhythm, all these different aspects of self-care that really help us jumpstart our day in a powerful way.
Yes. And as soon as you go into Shivani Gupta, try to check the quiz so you can actually know what is your dosha, and check the Fusionary method. That is a method that she created with all her tools so we can actually get to optimize our health. So excited, Shivani. I wish you an awesome weekend, and I can't wait to have you on the next week diving deep into more scope of Ayurveda. That is such a amazing science and medicine that has helped so many people for over 3,000 years. Shivani, you have any tip that you actually miss out of the 8 steps of Dinacharya?
Yes. So a Pyang massage, you can always do outside in the morning. Like you mentioned, we do want people to get outside. We want them to splash their face with cold water, splash the eyes with cold water so you really wake up. You can also use a rose water spray, which is so luxurious and decadent to wake up in the day. And my final self-care tip is tea time is me time. So it's one I kind of created, but I teach everyone to stop in the middle of their day at different points and sip a cup of tea and really collect peace in that moment. Tune into your intuition and see, what do I need? Do I need to hydrate? Do I need to take my supplements? What do I need right now to feel good as I move through the day? And that will kind of be your moment to check in and realize I need some self-care. There you go. Exactly. And so you pause to drink your tea. I have found it's like the amazing way for my body to say, actually, you better do some self-care tonight. Actually, you better sleep on time. So my own intuition will tell me what I need most.
Yes. I hope you enjoy this short talk, but very powerful talk, especially at the beginning of the year, to remember that following habits, especially at the beginning of the day, will make a huge change in your entire day. So remember, Dinacharya is the Ayurvedic practice of daily self-care, because you matter. Beyond anything, you matter. We welcome you to take your tea and to take time during the day to rebalance and anchor yourself. So thank you so much, Shivani. I'm looking forward to have you next week. And thank you so much for listening to this podcast right until the end. We welcome you to send us comments or questions for the next week, that we will be here for you. Thank you so much. And remember that together we are stronger. Thank you so much to be there for about 30 minutes listening to the Dinacharya. We learned so much about the steps of what we can do to implement habits in the very first part of our day. And then you can actually see the results. As soon as you start applying changes in the morning, you probably get more energy and you get a better sleep. So I invite you to select 1 or 2 of these practices, and please send us your comments if you actually notice a change. I also love the mantra that Dr. Shivani tells us. that she has 99 problems, but turmeric has solved 98 problems. Yes, turmeric. We actually want to dive deep into turmeric and the benefits of using this magical root next episode. So please keep us updated with all your progression practicing Ayurveda. If you're actually curious about more, you can also follow Shivani's Gupta website and learn about your dosha and much more. Thank you so much to be there today, and I welcome you to continue your support by following our website, joafitness.com. Thank you so much, and remember that together we are stronger.
We invite you to subscribe to this channel and share with your community. Please leave comments below, and if you like the episode, click the like button. Have a beautiful day.